Welcome on in. My name is PJ, and we got more news for you guys. We thought maybe with the fusion over or almost over, player might be slowing down, but they are speeding up. Buckle in. So what we got going on? So starting on Thursday, we have a 3x for speed in the dragon, and then also on Saturday. So Thursday, July 17th, we have a 3x for speed in the dragon, and then on Saturday, July 19th, is a 3x for provoke in the ice golem. So that's going to be overlapping with some of the events that are starting here soon. Also, quick warning, I guess. I know there's a lot of red dots. I'm not trying to get any CBC points because we're trying to stay low, so I can't click anything or get any points. So that's why there's a bunch of red dots. So trigger warning, I'm sorry about that. Red dot warning, I know, I'm sorry. Okay, but back to the news. So we have the 3x starting soon, and then that's going to be overlapping with this, the Path of Lost. So this is going to be a event where you need to pull shards and dungeon divers. You can do either or to get points. So we have those events overlapping this. We'll be doing a separate video when this drops to break this down. But just for now, I think I'm going to be going for Balar. Not sure if I'm going to go for the soul. I would like the mythical mats, but Balar I'm definitely going to go for. So we'll see how that works when that's coming out. That's in 7 hours. Hold up, guys. Now is the perfect time to click on my link in the description and get a free Karato as well as 4 more insane free epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Log out of player and play on PC and uninstall. Step 2. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to the inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on your chance to get a free Karato after signing up, as well as Uugo, Rector Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. So click on my link right now and let's crush this together. We got a champion training that started a little bit ago, and this is pretty juicy. They've been dropping a bunch of really good events recently. So we can take a look here at this champion training. It looks pretty standard at first, and then it just keeps going. And then you just keep scrolling and it keeps going more. So this is a 4-tier champ training. We got energy, we have epic relic materials, ancient shard, void, mortal, soulstone, chaos ore, legendary book, legendary of the materials, chaos dust, gold essence. We have chaos ore, 6-star mythical chaos ore, and then we have a mythical skill tome. This is pretty juicy. If you guys have the resources, I would think about doing it. I think I'm going to try to do as much as possible. I'm gonna probably max it out. It's really good. It's just that they've been really pushing hard, making us use our resources recently. So if you don't have the resources, don't worry about it. But if you do have the resources, these are pretty juicy rewards. So I might think about doing this. You can also do campaign. So you can do campaign to get DD and then also level up your champion, and then also for the path event. Or if you have a spider team, there's no spider event overlapping it, but if you have a spider team that can do food, then you can do champion training, DD, and then also get this, so, and level up your champions at the same time. So it could be interesting if you have something like that where you can get food during dungeons to overlap more. But I think I'm going to try to do it. Also, you can always do the tavern with the brews. So let's see the tournaments real quick. So we have Sand Devil started already. Karosa's already on this way. And then we have a dragon turn attack overlapping with the 3x speed. So that'll be nice. So you'll be getting points. So let's say like I have a duo farmer for Dragon 10. Some people have single farmers, some people have duo farmers or single farmers of lower stages. But you could do dragon, the DD, also champion training all at the same time, so you could be triple dipping. That is pretty juicy to get some nice value for your energy and get a bunch of points in a bunch of different tournaments and events. So that could be something to think about. I usually don't skip these Sand Devil turn attacks. I really try to do them, but this might be one where I skip. I just don't know if I have, I have the resources to do it, but I'm going to be putting all those resources in. Like I still want to do the Karosa event tournament. I'm going to wait until the DD starts, the hero or the hero's path, until I do this. So I want to do that. Definitely going to probably do some dragon. It just thinks that the Sand Devil doesn't count towards DD, so you're not really overlapping there. If you can do some champ training in Sand Devil, then you get a little bit of double dipping there. I could if I built out the G9 team again, but the team I have right now is more of a quick team. I don't have food in there, so it'd be really just to finish this. So I don't know, might skip this, might do it, but don't think it's a bad time to skip this right now just because there's so many other good events happening right now. CBC's ending. We are going to lose it. We're staying low. So GG's to Pandas. Sacred Pandas are a good clan over there. I think a lot of people, non-PRs, you guys try to stay low on points. I really don't like non-PR CBCs. I think they're pointless. I think another video, another topic, but yeah, we could talk about that for a little bit. But let's talk about this Path of the Lost. So we don't know exactly how many points or anything's going to be in it, but we do know what progressive champions are going to be alongside it. So let's take a quick look over here. Shout out Hell Hades. And let's see what we got. Okay, so day 1, so Thursday, July 17th, we're planning on launching a progressive chance. So this is the first day. We have the Cheshire Cat, we have Ash Arrow, we have Thor, we have Thowlin, we have Mountain King, we have Jorga the Breaker, we have Ieyasu and Valkanan. And then for the epics, we have Enda, Firegun, Ashma, Agamtum, and Wergren. So for the epics, most of these are for the Mikage fusion. The first 3, Wergren, I think it's from Mikage fusion as well. Agamtum is not, but he's very solid, good epic. If you need any of these from Mikage fusion, could be worth trying to snipe something. But they also do guaranteed, usually for, I think it's 40 ancients. So make sure you don't go all the way to 0 for ancients. Maybe if you need one of these, try to get it, and then make sure you save for a guaranteed when they come back around. Alright, let's take a look at the Legos. So we can kind of go, we'll go backwards first. So Valkanan, he's alright, I have him. Solid champion, don't think it's worth going for or pulling your mercy for. If you end up getting him from randomly, he's cool. Can do some cool stuff with Monkey, can do some cool stuff with Gaius. Definitely can do some cool stuff with the Uni champion, Herculetus. So definitely a solid champion, but don't think I'd be like going for my mercy for him. Ieyasu, he's very solid, pairs very well with Mikage, works well in Arena, Hydra. Not sure as much Chimera, but very solid in Hydra. Good for Doom Tower bosses, some Doom Tower bosses, Doom Tower waves, his waves, does very good damage, just a nuker, great nuker. More for PvP though, I'd say. Ignores Stone Skin. His A1 can just keep getting extra turns, so he's pretty nice. His A1 doesn't ignore Stone Skin, but he has an ignore Stone Skin capability. But the A1 does grant a bunch of extra turns if you kill an enemy, so A1 is nice. He's overall a very solid champion. Jorga the Breaker, so he was one of the best. I feel like he's fallen off maybe a little bit, but he's still really good. He's kind of like a hit or miss. Like he can do insane damage, or if you don't get the passive to proc, he can do not as much damage. Still very viable, very squishy. It's an issue with a lot of attack-based nukers is they're super squishy, so you have to have Stone Skin or some way of protecting them, which there are a lot of ways to protect them, but just throwing that out there, he is super squishy. But again, he can also ignore Stone Skin. Void doesn't weak hit, has potential to do insane damage if he gets that passive to proc. Ieyasu and Jorga are ones that you could try to pop your mercy for if you really need a nuker, a void nuker. Definitely very solid. I wouldn't blame you for trying to pop your mercy for that. So let's take a look at Mountain King. Mountain King's good. He's got buffed recently. Probably the weaker one out of all these champions. Very solid. Good for PvP. Some PvE stuff as well. The buff definitely made him better. He hits really hard. Solid champion, but I'd say there's probably some better options in here. If you want him to, if you like just kind of like fun arena stuff, then you can definitely have some fun with him in arena. Solid option. Thowlin's kind of weird that they put Thowlin here because he was just a fusion, so most people have, like, if you want him, you would have done the fusion. Maybe if you missed it for some reason, you can try to get him like here now, but kind of weird that they have him in a progressive so recently since his fusion was like besides the Titus, the one that just finished, he was the second to last one, so kind of weird. Thor's amazing, really good. If you guys did not do the Thor fusion, highly recommend getting Thor. Very solid, very good champion. Good damage dealer for PvP and PvE. I've seen him use them both. Takes out bosses, takes out waves. Just a big damage dealer. Also brings some good debuffs as well. Very solid. Love Thor. Definitely worth going for if you did not get the fusion. Ash Arrow. Ash Arrow is pretty cool. Kind of like an Armand's counter. Not really, depending on if the player knows how to play around him, because you can just sheep him. But then that also makes it so your enemies are you're not stunned. So a little bit of Armand's counter with his passive. Overall, he's really good though. Good damage dealer. Could be nice if you need some help in faction wars. If you need some damage dealing, could be good there. Definitely a good nuker. Could be one to pop mercy for, but I think there's probably some better options. So he's good. Don't get me wrong, I like him a lot, but I'm not sure if I would pop my mercy for him specifically. Then we got the Cheshire Cat. Now I like the Cheshire Cat a lot. I really wanted him when he first came out. I was able to get a 6-star blessing for him, so that might be another reason why I want him really badly. But even without the blessing, I wanted him pretty badly. He's gonna be the one that I'm going for personally. I think I'm gonna be pulling for him depending on how many points or what the points are looking like. We'll take a look at day 2 here in a second, or I guess that's not day 2, but like the next event. These are both 2 days. We'll take a look at that here in a second. But Cheshire Cat's amazing, really good for PvP, really good for PvE. Big fan. He's a nuker, has some survivability with his passive. Yeah, He's awesome. I got wrecked by a few Cheshire Cats in Arena. Would love to get him on the team. Like I said, I think I'm gonna be pulling for him. And I don't know if I would pop my Mercy for him. I think there's probably better options unless you like have a really good Blessing, but I think he's up there for one of the better ones on this list. I'd probably say Thor, Cheshire Cat are the two that you'd probably want to go for if you don't have Thor. If you do have Thor, I'd probably do Cheshire Cat. That one's really good, but we just had the fusions, probably don't need that one. Ash Arrow is good. Mountain King is decent as well. Everyone here is, I would say, all pretty good. Can't really go wrong. But I'd definitely be leaning towards more the Cheshire Cat or Thor, depending on your account and what you need. Alright, let's take a look at the second event. So this is starting Saturday, July 19th. Let's see here. We'll go backwards again, I guess. So we got the epics, we got Eolfrig, Uugo, Deacon, Dawn Caller, Sabbatha, and Madam. So Eolfrig is part of the Mikage fusion. Uugo is just an amazing epic. Deacon, another amazing epic. Very solid. If you guys are new players, having multiple Ugos would be really good for Hydra. You only really need one Deacon. Empowerment is good, but building out multiple Ugos would be good for people. Definitely not bad. Sabbatha, she's a good Void Reviver. She was a fusion epic recently. Not bad. And then Madam, she's a classic. Really good for PvP and some PvE as well. Brings that strip, the decreased defense, the decreased attack too, I believe. So she's always a beast. Can't go wrong on Madam. These are all pretty good, but I don't think really anyone's really going for specifically the epics. Maybe you are, depending on where your account is. We're looking at the Legos now. So for the Voids, we got Venus, Warlord, and Tuhanarok. Venus is still pretty solid. I would say she pairs with Cupidus. I would say Venus is better standalone than Cupidus is standalone. If you have them together, then they're very solid together. Cupidus by himself is alright. Venus by herself is still very solid. Void brings the decreased defense, the weaken, burn, some poisons, I think. She does a bunch. Actually, I don't know if she does poisons. Let me just check real quick. I think on the A1 she poisons, right? Yeah, poison on the A1, decreased defense, weaken, HP burn. And then she has an extra part of it if you have Cupidus. So if you have Cupidus, she could be worth going for. Again, is she worth breaking it? If you're near Mercy, you're like, oh, I'm really close to Mercy. I want to go for one Void Legendary. Would Venus be the pick? Probably not. I'd probably save it for someone different, but she's definitely still a solid option if you end up getting her just from randomly pulling. Warlord is still a beast. Lockout, very good for PvP. Good for PvE, Faction Wars, just controlling waves if you're a newer player, and Doom Tower is tough. Doom Tower is all about wave control, controlling the waves. He would be a big part of that. There's other options nowadays that also have Lockout. We have Fabian, Yumiko, but Warlord is still very, very solid. Could be someone that you might want to use your Mercy on. I wouldn't blame someone. Probably out of these ones, he's probably the best. Jorget or Asu, it depends if you need more of a support or a damage dealer, but Warlord is still very, very viable. I've seen him used still a lot in PvP. Some people have used him a little bit less, but I still think he's very viable. Then the last Void, we got Tuhanarok. She's a beast. She's support champion. More for PvE, doesn't really bring too much for PvP, at least for the end game. Maybe for early game, you could use her for PvP, but very good for bosses, good for dungeons. PvE, she's a beast. Would I use my Mercy for her? Probably not. But if you end up getting her randomly, definitely a very solid champion. Then we got the 9 legendaries. We got Stock, Theodore, Pythion, and Korra, and Prince Kymar. Stock and Theodore are pretty similar. Stock was a fusion kind of recently. Very solid. Good for actually PvP and PvE. He's using some PvP high-end teams where he ignores his poisons and HP burn, can ignore with his passive, ignore and kill or block damage, which is all over the place. So with his passive, you can bring him in and ignore that. Very strong in PvP, also very good in PvE. Use him in my Faction Wars team. Dungeons you could use him in. You could use him in Doom Tower, all that kind of stuff. Theodore, very similar. Not really as much used in PvP, but very good in PvE. Soloing bosses, using him in Dragon. You can use him in normal Ice Golem. You can have him in Spider if you have other poison or HP burn activations. Doom Tower. Anywhere in PvE, he's usually very, very viable. Not everywhere, obviously, but very good in PvE. Not so much in PvP, but solid option. Pythion, he's a beast for Reviver. He's kind of like not outdated, but there's nothing like too special about him, but he's just overall very good support. Revive, cleanse, brings the block debuffs. has some healing. His passive can help you stay alive a little bit longer. So overall, he's a great champion. Nothing insane, but I would say overall a very good champion. And Cora, I would say, is a little bit better compared with King Narcisse. She has a cleanse, she has shield, she can help reset with her A1, she can reset cooldowns of your team. Single target revive, which kind of stinks, but she has a boost as well on the A2, which can help a little bit, a little turn meter boost. Big fan of Ancora. I actually started using her more than my Duchess when I first got her. Granted, I did have a Narcisse to pair with her, but she's very good. You don't have her, recommend Ancora greatly. And we have Kymar, reset champion. Kymar is amazing, really good for PvP, good for PvE. Kind of fell off in PvP for late game, but I would say for early game, mid game, Kymar is still a beast. And then insane for PvE, just helping you reset your team, help reset your waves. Good for seer teams, wave clearing teams, dungeon teams, doom tower teams, just anywhere. Kymar can be a beast, just resetting your cooldowns and getting you to go and get your moves faster back up around. So depending on what you need, I would say probably Ancora's up there. Kymar, you can't go wrong with Kymar. Theodore is really good if you need help in Dragon. Python's good. I like Python as well, so I'd probably lean towards some of those. Obviously, it's very account dependent on what you need versus what you don't need, and who you have versus what you don't have. That's one tough thing about this game, is every account is so unique and different. You got to make sure that you're taking this advice and then applying it to your own account, because like I said, something that I might need, you might already have. Something that you already have, I might need. So you got to try to take the advice and put it into your own account. With that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you guys are going for this or not. Obviously, we have to see how many points it's going to be, and we'll be breaking that down here when we see that go live. Don't forget to leave a like, hit that sub button, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.